Hey guys, Scott Dispel, dispelmusic.com. Today, an important update about our upcoming music video and our continued series about the different vices in the Inferno. Check it out. Hey guys, Scott Dispel here, dispelmusic.com. Welcome to our humble little studio here on the shores of Lake Erie. Speaking of it, September 1st and fall, or otherwise known as autumn, is right around the corner. So a beautiful time in the Northeast because the trees change colors and they drop their leaves, and the temperature's mild. It's just absolutely beautiful time, which is one of the reasons I love living in this area, because we get 4 distinct seasons. So we get winter, very pronounced, which really sucks, but then we get spring, summer, and autumn, and usually we get what's called an Indian summer, and that's kind of when summer kind of lingers into fall, and it's a warm, seasonably warm fall, which is always my favorite. Like all September and October, and sometimes even in November, it could be pretty seasonably warm, and it's just an amazing time. And also a very creative kind of vibe is in the air because it's like harvest season and Halloween's right around the corner. So very cool. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we are a band in Cleveland called Dispel, and we write fantasy music. Gothic fantasy rock, or Gothic fantasy metal, I think describes it best. So if you like anything like medieval fantasy, history, swords, chainmail, axes, Vikings, pagans, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, which is out now, you're in the right spot. That's what inspires us. That's what we write our music about. So today I wanted to talk about our ongoing series about our upcoming album called Inferno, inspired by Dante's Inferno. So I read Dante's Inferno and I'm like, I'm going to make an album out of this. So what we did is we wrote a song for each of the levels of hell, and each of the level is its own vice or sin. So today we're going to talk about the sin of heresy, and which is a really powerful song on the album, because the song is called Glacia's Heresy. And what it's about the Archduchess. She's this diabolical queen who rules the plane of heresy. And so what we did is we took Dante's Inferno and the vices and the sins, and then over the years there have been so many interpretations of Dante's Inferno because it's an absolute masterpiece of world literature. And then all these other creative fantasy writers and gamers got a hold of it. And of course they translated Dante's Inferno into a fantasy world where in adventure gaming or video gaming you can adventure to the different levels. So what we did is we picked up with that and we wanted to do a musical interpretation of that. So what we did is we took some of the diabolical personalities from mythology and ancient medieval literature, and we sprinkled them in and we threw them on the planes and the different levels. And so today we're talking about heresy and the queen of heresy, Glacia. And it's a very special song for us for a few reasons. It was our first acoustic song, so it's an acoustic ballad type song. And we wanted it to be like hauntingly beautiful. And if you've heard our music before, you can check us out on Spotify, or if you're on our YouTube channel, you can go to our little icon there, subscribe to our channel, and our music videos are on there. But our singer, we're female fronted, so our singer Ravensea has this hauntingly beautiful voice. So we thought, hey, why don't we showcase that in a ballad style? And then we have it was recorded in South Africa, and her roommate at the time, Katie, she plays piano on it, and she is an absolutely brilliant piano player. Our singer Ravensea was down there getting her master's in music therapy, so while she was studying, we recorded the the song, and we also did a music video for it. So what I'm going to do at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a snippet of the music video and a link at the end, because it's a full-length video here on our YouTube channel. Please check it out. It's an absolute masterpiece. What she did is she gathered all the local luminaries and some incredibly talented artists in South Africa, and they help us film it. We had top-notch filming gear, equipment. It's a beautiful treatment. The storyline, it's just absolute masterpiece. It was actually featured in the Garden State Film Festival under music video category in New Jersey. So a very special video for us. We're super excited about it. So definitely check that out. Again, I'll put the link from that on the end of the video, where you just click on the icon, or just go to our channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and look up Glacius Heresy. It's right there under videos. Beautiful video, beautiful voice, and of course I'm going to play a sample of it here. So let's talk about Heresy. So Heresy is kind of like dissent or deviation from accepted norms, and in this case it would be doctrine contrary to religious dogma, what's accepted. You've heard of the term heretics. He's a heretic, he must be burned at the stake. You know, very barbaric things in the past. But heresy is basically turning away from the church, but not only turning away from the church, but performing actions that are extremely opposite to or contrary to religious standards. So, you know, certainly there have been figures in history that have performed terrible heresies, and I would say the Inquisition during the Middle Ages was a heresy against what the church should really stand for. But that's what happens when how power corrupts, you know, and they say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So great examples of that. Just open your eyes and look what's happening. Is corruption is such a terrible thing, and basically that's what Dante's Inferno is all about. You take all the vices, it's just corruption, you know, and under one big umbrella, the umbrella of corruption, we've got heresy and greed and violence and treachery and gluttony, just all these terrible corrupt vices. And basically it's when we lack in character and then we kind of seek negative avenues, and then boom, there you go, there's corruption and potentially heresy. So what we did with Glacius Heresy is, again, it's an acoustic song, and we really focused on Glacia as Ravensea playing the part of Glacia. This is Glacia singing. Hauntingly beautiful voice. She's a seductress. She's like a succubus. And really what she likes to focus on is corrupting mortals. So part of the lyrics are, ye heretics and thieves. And she again tries to lure them in, like pleasure beyond imagining awaits you. So easily corruptible, fools, drunkards, whatever. Even those questing for power or pleasure would certainly succumb to Glacia's whims. So she takes great pleasure in that. So that's kind of like how we focused the song, is her singing beautiful, like, ye possessed of intellect, follow me because I can offer you unlimited pleasure. So pleasure and pain, I guess you could say, is kind of the play on words we really shot for in this song. And I think when you see the music video, you kind of get the point. We have the weary traveler, he's hungry, he's starving, and yet he can't resist the urge and the call of Glacia. So he goes to whatever extent that takes, and then he swims across this raging river, and he gets to the other side and there's a surprise because it looks like somebody else has also succumbed to Glacia's luring, the promise of pleasure. So that's kind of the focus on Glacia. But ultimately, it's all a deception. You know, for her, it's just a game. It's just an expression of her power, how easily mortals are corrupted. So that's kind of the avenue we went for on this, and I think we nailed it. I think it's a special song. I think it's a special music video. That's why we chose to do a music video. It was the only song on the album that was actually not recorded in Dispel Studios, but it was recorded in South Africa. So that gives it another air of mystery and intrigue and just interest and a different vibe. And the music video was shot down there at this awesome farm in the rural part of South Africa. And it was just an amazing experience. And our singer Ravensea got to ride horseback across the farms and the land. She said it was such a surreal experience. And everybody that worked on it, I think it was really a life-changing event for them. And so we try to bring that through in the music video and really capture that vibe. And that's kind of what this band is about. You know, we're trying to capture a vibe in the music. We're trying to share that. We're trying to make it immersive. We're trying to tap into your imagination because I am such a fantasy lover, a fantasy nerd. For example, I'm a big fan of the original 13 Conan the Barbarian books that were written back in the early 1910s, 1920s. By author Robert E. Howard, who actually ended up committing suicide. His writing is so descriptive. I can see it in my mind when I'm reading the books, and I think that's another thing that makes fantasy gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing games, so popular, is because if you have a good DM and he's explaining the adventure out to you, it's like you're in the book. You see it in your mind's eye. And we have an awesome local gaming group here in the Cleveland area. A lot of people that I have made lifelong friends from gaming. So such a great thing. So what I wanted to do is I want to combine my love of that and fantasy and the fantasy realm and gaming and the vibe and the imagination and infuse that into music. And play the music I would most want to hear as a fantasy lover and somebody whose imagination is through the roof. And we just want to share that with the music. So I hope that makes sense. I think you kind of get where we're coming from. And if you're watching this video, then you definitely get it, because this would not be the first video of ours you're watching. And if it is, welcome. We're glad you found us. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the team. And this is a journey. And we're making it a musical adventure. So anyways, we're going to get into the music video I promised. So it's Glacia's Heresy, filmed in South Africa. And the video was directed by Devin Delmar. Very talented individual, up-and-coming star. We had all this great Sony gear lent to us by Loxie Coleman. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. But all the credits are in the video. It's great how when bands' music and persona tends to take on a life of its own. And that's kind of the stage we're in now. How we've got the Plague Doctor and a Knight and then Ravensea, how it kind of just took on a life of its own just from creating the music, and the imagery followed. So it's just a wonderful thing. Can't thank you enough for supporting this. Like I said, we've got a new music video coming out September 15th. That song is also going to be available on Amazon, iTunes, and Apple Music, on the streaming services as well. And then we'll follow it up with the full-length album, Inferno, October 15th. We're super excited about it, right in time for Halloween. So yeah, check out the music video. Thank you.
Possessed of intellect. observe the teaching that is hidden here. Oh, you, the knot will be unraveled to splendid spoils of the grieving, decrees of scorning, unholy treaty. You have no choice, the die is cast, you shall surrender. This carmine scripture, your end is written. So heed the words that have been sealed.